Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 4th of February. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have BHP, CSR, Australian Finance Group, Metro Mining and Kina Securities. So if you have a request, send it through. Make sure you're getting our free newsletter. However, if you want my actual stock recommendations, make sure you're getting the Dynamic Investor every Tuesday. But if you do enjoy these videos, I'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review on Facebook and Google. Remember, my core business though is the portfolio management side of things. So if you want to know more about that, please call me and I can go through it with you. And any advice here, of course, is general only. So looking at we'll start with a weekly chart of BHP going back the last 5 years. So this is one we've been quite positive on. I think that it can do well across 2021. We could see at the end of last year we had this breakout here, and that should lead to significant upside. However, we are getting some short-term sell signals. So firstly, on the weekly chart, we've got the sell signal on the RSI. But just moving over to the daily chart now, what we could see is sort of this poor price action here is telling me that we're going to probably see lower levels. We've taken profits for some of our clients already who are happy to get back in at lower levels. One thing I've noticed is the reversal here. So if I just zoom in, so we've had this sort of pullback, little rally, deep pullback, tried to bounce the other day, and we could see that it didn't even overlap that low. So that is telling me that we've got probably a bit of acceleration to the downside in the short term. There could be some support here near $42. However, what I've noticed over the years is BHP tends to respect the 38.2% Fibonacci level. So when it pulls back, it usually does so about a bit more than a third of the range. So if this is a significant top for the time being, if I measure off the March low to that peak using our Fibonacci tool, we could see the 38.2% levels just under $40. And coincidentally, that just happens to be at that breakout line that we're looking at on our weekly chart. So I think for the short term, a bit of downside at best, $42, but we may well see it closer to 40 or even with a 3 in front of it, and then we'd be looking for a reversal. I mean, if we have a look at even the most recent significant pullback here in BHP, and I measure that move, we could see again it came back to about the 38.2, and then when it started to rally higher, that's when I knew we had a buy signal. So short-term weakness in BHP, but I think beyond that it should do well. CSR, so obviously doing well. It's in the right spot at the moment in terms of building activity. We've clearly got an uptrend here. I mean, it's not the smoothest of uptrends. It's been quite a bit choppy and all over the place, but nevertheless, there's still an uptrend there. Did look pretty vulnerable here last week, where it went to a slightly new high and then it got sold off, but it's managed to recover that pretty quickly. So if I move over to the weekly chart, however, we could see that it is approaching this old high. So what that means is we should get some resistance pretty soon. So in terms of a risk reward, to be buying it here very close to resistance, it's just not the best risk reward. So basically what I think we need to do is, if it does start to reject off that and consolidate for a while, we need to wait for that consolidation to occur. It might go sideways, it might pull back, but when that's over, then you've got the next buying opportunity. Australian Finance Group, so decent uptrend there. It's been heading higher. We've got this February peak here at $3, so it's getting close to that. So we should expect some resistance to come in. When we look at the momentum, it is starting to slow down. So if we have a look at the RSI, we could see that it we've had these sort of peaks here, and then the momentum's been easing back while the shares have been going up. So momentum's slowing down, and we can see the choppiness starting to come in. It's not having a nice sort of smooth ride like it was before. So look, slowing down a bit. Look, it's okay as a hold. I think, in terms of where would you sell, I think 260 is obvious support just back at this old low here. So I think if it pulled under that, that would be my stop level. Otherwise, happy to hold. Okay, Metro Mining. So we could see it's trying to build a bit of a base here. If we sort of zoom out, we could see it's come back quite a way. So this looks like a bit of a shorter term trade. So base, what's interesting is firstly it rejected off this level, and then it's done it again. So it's now giving us a clear resistance level. It's around 7.6 cents. So the way I would do it is I'd just wait for it to clear this level. I don't want to get involved in the choppiness here. I think if you see a close above 7.6, breaking out of the base on volume, then to me that would be a buy signal, and I just place my stop just under that line. So you end up with a tight stop, but then you have all this potential upside. So wait for the breakout. Kina Securities. So it's been improving. We could see the last few months, but if I sort of zoom out here, we could see it's been underperforming. So it's still under the June high, whereas the rest of the market's up here somewhere. And obviously it's still well under this peak from the start of the year. So improving, but underperforming. If I zoom in, just the recent price action, I could see for the last week it's been closing on its lows of the day. I mean, this day it closed nearer the high, but we could see again just price rejection here. So looking weak in the short term. If we're looking at the trend here with the highs and lows, this is where the previous low is, around 93 cents. So that, to me, that's support, and I'd tolerate movement back there, but if it broke 93 cents, then I'd rather be out. Okay, well that's all for this week. As always, if you have a request, send it through and I'll try to include your stock next Thursday for you.